Hola, everyone. Welcome to Open. I'm Rhina Valentin, your host, Café con Leche, every Friday. Here's what's coming up in today's show. First up, we're joined by Nathalie Tejada, Darcel Dillard-Suite, and Dr. Dayanara Marte here to discuss this year's NYC Celebrates Women Step-by-Step Women of Color Entrepreneurs Conference. Then, playwright, producer, and actress Julia Genoveva joins us to discuss her play, Love Slips Through Our Fingers. And finally, our open order spotlight shines on Apollo Amateur Night winner and NYC subway performer Cruz Angel, who closes out the show performing a cover of A Million Dreams. So sit back y prepárate. All this and more is headed your way because now we are officially open. Hey everyone, and welcome to Open. I'm Rhina Valentin, your host, Café con Leche. For the next hour, inviting you to get social with us online. Follow us on all social media platforms at Bronxnet TV. And of course, while you're there, follow moi on all social media platforms as well at Rhina Valentin. Welcome once again to Open, mi gente. Since 2018, NYC Celebrates Women has holistically supported women of color entrepreneurs, helping them build sustainable businesses and generational wealth. And one of my first guests today founded NYC Celebrates Women, which is an important nonprofit whose sole mission is to provide women of color with the right resources and education for today's marketplace. And my other two guests are being honored at this year's Step-by-Step Women of Color Entrepreneurs Conference, which is an annual event hosted by NYC Celebrates Women, where women of color can network, get inspired, share ideas, and feel seen and heard in a supportive community. Let's take a look at last year's Step-by-Step.
God, husband, children, sisters, mothers, grandmothers, aunts, community, and women. Woo! I'm sure when you're doing something new, you're in spaces and you don't want to like brag, you don't want people to look at you negatively, but here, you could share all of your accomplishments. Somebody's here to level up those accomplishments for you.
I want you to be bold. And when it comes to being bold, you can't just show up. You gotta show out.
There you have it. And here to discuss this year's Step-by-Step Women of Color Entrepreneurs Conference is founder and co-executive director of NYC Celebrates Women, Nathalie Tejada. And joining her are two of this year's 2026 honorees. We have co-founder and president at Full Circle Health, Darcel Dillard-Suite, and public health expert, Dr. Dayanara Marte. Hello and welcome.
Hello, Rhina. Thank you for the opportunity.
Well, thank you for being here again, and thank you for hosting this annual event that I'm so fond of. So thank you for bringing these two. I mean, Dr. D, you've been here before, but congratulations on being honored this year.
Thank you.
And congratulations to you, Darcel.
Thank you. Exciting.
Yeah. So, all right, Nathalie, let's talk a little bit about this year's theme, and then again the number of women. That always fascinates me, right? Because I think you're trying to honor the women according to the year that we're in.
Yeah, that is correct. So once again, thank you, Rhina. And you are the MC for the 4th year, so we are super grateful.
It's 4 years now?
4th year.
4th year. Really?
Really?
Wow. Like it's 4 years? Ouch. Thank you for having me again.
Thank
It just dawned on me, like really, it's been 4 years. But go ahead. I didn't really, I'm more focused on the actual event itself.
No, thank you. NYC Celebrates Women. As you mentioned, our mission is to amplify the business of women of color entrepreneur to help them to build generational wealth. In our community, a lot of the time, women of color entrepreneurs, due to systematic barriers, lack of the opportunities and the investment for them to push forward their business. And those challenges and that they face is what inspired me, because I'm also an entrepreneur myself. And when it comes to our conference, that this year is the 7th annual, we are once again celebrating 26 very impactful women and individuals and corporations. This year, as part of the 2026 awards, we are also presenting 3 awards to corporations and institutions that support women of color entrepreneurs. That is TD Bank, the Presbyterian Hospital, and Hispanic Federation.
Yeah, that's a lot of women.
Yeah, there's a lot happening. Women from different industry that come together every year. We, in the room, as you know, over 250 women. It's a beautiful venue at the Harmony Club, 2 floors, 1 dedicated for our vendors that are starting their businesses and resources. And it's just an amazing way for us to see that we belong in those places, to celebrate ourselves, and at the same time get the resources that we need to continue amplifying our businesses.
Agreed. It is a really remarkable event. And every year, it's obviously, it expands, right? Now you're offering these
That's
additional
the word
awards.
expand. We have that conversation.
Yes.
Expansion.
It's about expansion. And so I'm going to speak to Darcel first, right? You're one of this year's honorees, and this is my first time meeting you. And I understand now you're also in the business of mental wellness, and it is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I know that's also part of the mission of NYC Celebrates Women.
I'm excited, and yes, mental health is so important to all of us. And to be honored by this organization and to be able to highlight the fact that we do need to support each other, especially women of color, to be able to give a place for mental health means a lot to me personally, and give them quality access. It's not just about finding a therapist or finding a doctor, it's about finding someone who really gets you.
Right.
And so we're really connected to the community, and we're diverse as a group. And this organization is celebrating the fact that we've been doing this for over 25 years in the community in the Bronx. So we're just excited to be honored at this event to actually tout and toot our own horn about how we're still doing this business, because it is not easy.
Yeah, especially now. We need it now more than ever. So congratulations to you. And so we're going to come back to you, but I want to talk to Dr. D a little bit here, because Dr. D, you've been part of this event annually, but this is the first time you're being honored.
Right.
So you've got a dual services, right? Because I know you're also one of the speakers, and you usually ground us at the top of the event. So talk to us a little bit about what that feels like for you to be honored this year.
It's going to be beautiful. I bring my family with me, so I'll have my daughter there, because the event is not just about women, but the families that we create. It's an intergenerational space, and it's going to be beautiful to be honored for my work and not just kind of speak. But I love being the person who does ground that space and brings back the sacred into the conversation of us as women of color building legacy.
Yeah, I mean, and we've had you here on Open.
That's right.
Also speaking to the seasons, which is a wonderful topic that you always bring into the space as well, right? And what is it? We've entered the spring season,
We've
right?
entered the spring season.
Which is the season of what?
Rebirth.
Renewal.
Rebirth and self-love and renewal. And so this is an amazing event because it happens on Mother's Day. And what we're saying is, you know, as women, we don't just have the power to give birth to babies, but we have the power to give birth to a different world through our businesses, right? And create legacies of generational wealth. So.
And it begins with the conversations and your environment, right? And so one of the things I really appreciate about NYC Celebrates Women and this particular conference is that it does have a holistic approach to it, right? So it isn't just transactional. I mean, yes, we're there to network amongst each other, but there's a certain care, as you mentioned earlier, that is in the space. And it really does matter because it's its own community at this point. Yeah.
It is definitely a community. We have, as you mentioned, we have been around since 2018. My background is in organizing, bringing together women to celebrate each other, to see each other. I think that when you build that space, we can really celebrate our similarities and see how we can collaborate together. So for the past 7 years, I cannot even tell you how many collaborations, opportunities, even graduations. One of our co-founder, she's about to finish her law degree. So there are people in every area doing something, working with one of the companies that supported us, in previous years, now speaking at different events. So it is not just entrepreneurship, but it's like health and wellness at its highest level, where you can really bring the whole cell together.
And Darcel, just because you're bringing in that mental wellness component in your occupation, right? And you did mention the importance of, and I keep using the word transactional because there's something that kind of loans itself to just kind of being superficial when you're there for a service, or you're there to receive a service, but there's something like uncomfortable when you know that you're being serviced, just serviced.
Yeah. You know what happens? We all suffer from something, be it depression, anxiety, or just work burnout. And mental health has gotten such a bad rap for so many years that you feel uncomfortable. Oh my God, I gotta go to the therapist. And you want to keep it a big secret. And how many of our families, as people of color, kept secrets because we were afraid for anybody to know our business? So what's happened is mental health has fallen into that category of keeping it secret or not talking about it, but being able to destigmatize that and say, you know what, I do need help. And it's powerful for women to support each other. And even if a friend of mine says, do you know anyone? I'm like, yes, come to us or go to someone else. We can help refer you out because maybe we may not be the fit for you.
Right.
But we do have to fix that. We have to fix it so that people do get support. How many people in the world don't get it? And then later on in life, something happens.
Right.
It shows up when you're 50 or 60, but you could have gotten help when you were 20.
Right, and then there's also the accessibility.
There you go.
Right, there's that component as well, and I think that this community offers that. There's an accessibility because your services are in that realm, but they're different, right? So let's share a little bit about yours.
Yeah, I think, I bring healing to spaces, to organizations, to community. And, in a world that is deeming us disposable and invisible right now, it is very important when we're talking about creating dreams that we build spaces that see us. And not just see the amazing part of us, but that see all the stories of us. And what, and so what's important when New York City Celebrates Women is that we create a space where women can see what created me, right? What led me to fill in this gap to create this business, right? What is the story that I am holding? What parts of it still need healing? What is my relationship to money? Because, you dream about having your business and then you're in the business and all of a sudden you got to collaborate with sisters, but maybe you have some trauma around sisterhood. You have to, manage money, but that's not something you grew up with, right? And so we create a space where we can talk about all of that and not make that wrong, but that is part of economic empowerment. That is part of sustainability. And so I kind of create the space for you to bring all of that to the table and think about what is the healing that I need to do to be sustainable economically and also mind, body, and spirit.
Exactly, and everything you're saying is so valid because honestly, if you really want to learn about yourself and you really want to reflect on yourself, open up a business because it's like having a child. And the child develops according to the way you think and what you have been raised in, right? I mean, I'm an entrepreneur too, so I've gone through my missteps. And in relation to what you're saying regarding finances, it's like there's this love-hate relationship with finances underlying, right? Because I'm able to manifest it, but there's this like, well, I have what I need, whereas what's wrong with abundance?
and the fear of success, right?
Right.
And the fear of like, see me, but no, don't see me.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And love me and come buy my products, but no, not really. 'Cause
Right.
I don't know what to do with all of this, right? Attention.
Yeah.
And what if I do make it? And what does that mean? And so sitting with all those contradictions
Yeah.
that we don't know until we're in the spotlight of creating our own business.
Right.
Or raising our children.
Correct. Well,
Yeah.
to me, they're
The same
synonymous.
thing.
Really.
Yeah, they are. And, at the same time, I think that it's important for our community, corporations, and other stakeholders to invest back into our communities, not just about you, as you said, providing a service, having a bank here, or, us buying your products and making your company wealthier and all of that, but at the same time giving back to the community. And I think that NYC Celebrates Women gives that opportunity to a lot of corporations and key stakeholders to support these women that can really build sustainability, not just for themselves and their family, but as well in our community.
Yeah, and it's, again, I can't stress the importance of being in a space, I call it a safe space, because, again, going back to the transactional experiences, right, we do live in a world where everybody's kind of moving at a fast pace and everybody's just trying to get things done. And we're almost even operating extremely impersonal because things are being done online.
Correct.
And if we are doing it in person, there's a quick exchange. And then there's there's something that's getting lost. There's something that's getting lost. And the pandemic, I'm going to go back to the pandemic, it kind of stopped us for a moment to reflect on the pacing. And then what it did was it amplified everything that's not working out in individuals because of the detachment from each other, right? I know, I went in.
No, that's great. I think that when it comes to communities of color, person-to-person relationship will be always there. But at the same time, we, as small businesses, we have to invite technology. At the conference, we are going to have one of the presentation will be on AI, how to use it in a way that it will help you to continue growing your business. And I think that when it comes to all the different opportunities out there related to technology, we also need to get on board, learn, and utilize them, because it is a reality that is happening. But at the same time, we cannot lose the essence of your business, of yourself, and your community.
Absolutely. That is so well said, because there's really, what I'm alluding to is balance. Is the balance,
yeah.
right? Because you're right. We cannot stay behind.
Correct.
Like, certain people have their opinions about AI, but the reality is it's here and it's not going anywhere.
Correct.
It's not.
No, I always say you have to slow down enough to still care.
Right.
And AI is fast. We want it fast. There's nanoseconds. We all are scrolling very quickly. Slow down enough to still be kind, to care, to support, and to be sensitive. The insensitivity in our world, I think, is also a problem today. But I love how you put that balance, especially beyond mental health and all the wellness that we're talking about. If we lose that balance, we're going to lose ourselves. So I love that you said that.
Yeah, and thank you for reflecting it back. Did you have something to say?
Yeah, I think the conference is happening at a very critical time, right? There's over, 500,000 sisters of color that have lost their jobs, right? There's DEI services that are not, our human resources are run by us, to some degree. And so there is a big gap. But I think the reckoning and the opportunity that's present, that COVID has presented us with, is the reckoning of detachment and just being me, but also like this rebirth that's happening, because we're gonna have to start redefining success for ourselves. And we were raised in a time when it's like, if you went to school, if you were professional, if you were guaranteed something, and that's no longer the world that we're living in. So I think this conference is coming in to fill in that gap at a time that's super needed for our communities, and to support sisters who are starting to redefine and thinking about, who am I now? Right, in this new world that we are living in.
Yes, and it is a new world.
Exactly.
It is a new world. And I love that you brought up the technology, because that is our reality.
Yeah, it is our reality. And also, I want to add, and now that we have Darcel and Dr. D, that is more than honoring presenter, is a collaborator like you for NYC Celebrates Women. I also want to highlight that what is happening here is because NYC Celebrates Women is all about health and wellness. We understand entrepreneurship is very important, the profit, the financial literacy, the investment, but we believe that health and wellness is what bring everything together. We need to treat each of us not just from one piece and here there. We need to find ways to bring everything together, and I think that health and wellness is that tool that we are using to acknowledge that and for women to heal, because as Dr. Dio always said, we are survival in some way from something.
Right.
So NYC Celebrates Women is that platform for us to acknowledge that and to work on all those areas together.
Yeah. Any closing words? Because we got to wrap after this, which we can go on and on, because the beauty of what we're talking about is that when you're an entrepreneur, you tend to abuse yourself. Unintentionally, because the hours, the mindset, the structure, all of that, it kind of goes out the window when it's your baby, right? Going back to having a child, and then there's this care for self, this self-care component that is being brought into the forefront during this conference. That is an important discussion, if not the most important discussion.
I would just add, women, as you say, that self-care piece gets compromised very quickly. So my final words to anyone listening today would be, do take care of yourself, even your mental health. It's so important. People joke about, I'm taking a mental health day. Take the mental health day.
Yes, absolutely. Dr. D?
I think my final words is join us, right? This is a day we don't often get the red carpet. We often don't get to go into spaces like the Harmony Club. And so, for sisters out there that are thinking about, what is my next step, and feeling super lonely about, how do I start, whatever that start is, to join us and, and have us be the mirror that another world is possible.
Yeah, get dressed up in the process.
That's right. That's
we love
right.
that.
Yes, and if they're interested in attending, they can visit our website. It's nyccelebrate.org. We are looking forward to see all the wonderful, incredible entrepreneurs that keep, fighting and pushing forward. And I want to add also to be kind to yourself, because in Dr. D, we were having that conversation, and that is our word for the month of Mental Health Awareness Month, May. So be kind to yourself and take care of yourself, and choose yourself always first.
I love it. That's it. Choose yourself and be kind to yourself, because once you're kind to yourself, then you can be kind to others. Yes,
Correct.
thank you. Thank you all for being here with
Thank
us
you for
today.
having us.
Nathalie Tejada, Darcel Dillard-Suite, Dr. Dayanara Marte. Once again, if you guys are interested in attending NYC Celebrates Women's Step-by-Step Women of Color Entrepreneurs Conference, that's taking place on Saturday, May 16th from 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Harmony Club, which is located at 4 East 60th Street in Manhattan. And for more information, you can go to nyccelebrate.org or follow them on IG at NYC Celebrates Women. All right, stay tuned. There's more open when we return.
From the future to save the past, heal the planet and make it last. We find solutions with knowledge slides. Venture forth, echo leaders unite. Echo leaders, echo leaders.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Open. My next guest was born in Ecuador and raised right here in the BX. She brings nearly 2 decades in the entertainment industry, having worked as an actress, writer, producer, and director. In 2009, she established Genoveva Productions to honor her late grandfather, renowned Chilean filmmaker Sigifredo Salas, and the company is dedicated to producing compelling, original, and contemporary plays with the intention of leaving a lasting impact on audiences. In her most recent work, Love Slips Through Our Fingers, she takes on a dual role as both the playwright and one of the main characters. The play follows Elaine as she grapples with the challenges of substance abuse, family issues, and personal self-doubt. And here to share more, we welcome playwright, producer, and actress Julia Genoveva. Hello and welcome.
Hi, Rhina. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, congratulations to you on being able to sustain a production business, because I know as a producer it is quite challenging. And it is, but yeah, it is so fulfilling when it's work that is meaningful to you, and also that you have control over the narratives. Now, I wanted to just dive a little bit into what led you to forming your own production company.
Sure.
And then maybe discuss a little bit of your previous productions before we get into the one that's up and coming.
Okay, sure. So I've been in the entertainment industry since 2007. I started out as an actor before all the other hats that I'm wearing now. And I think what inspired me to start Genoveva Productions was just being in like the New York theater scene. You know, like I said, I started out as an actor and everyone gave me a chance. Like, oh, why don't you try to write something or try to direct this play? And I didn't have any experience at all. So that was kind of what inspired me. I'm like, well, maybe I can do that too. I can kind of create a community and an environment where actors, playwrights, directors, we all come together and we all create. And also I had ideas too of things that I wanted to write. So it just happened. I'm like, you know what? I think I should also try to start a group, a production company. And so that was in 2009. So I cannot believe all the time that has gone by. And yeah, as you mentioned before, producing is a lot of work. It's very hard, but I love it. And I have to say, I could not do it at all without all the wonderful people that I work with, all the actors, directors, other playwrights. So, you know, I'm just one person. But once other people are part of it, then I can really make something happen.
Beautiful. And so talk to us about your story choices, all right? I think we have some images of some previous shows. If we could show that, so that maybe she could give us a little background on what it is that she's produced and why you've produced it. So here's the amends.
Oh, amends. So that was a reading of various plays that I wrote. So what I like to write about is the human experience, human stories, how we overcome obstacles. And I really love to write about the underdog, the person that no one thinks they can make it. And even though things are not perfect and they're going through a lot of hardships, something happens and suddenly they are, I would say, better off than they started. So that is my kind of like the theme that I go with. I do love comedy, so there's a little humor, sometimes sarcasm in my stories because that's real life. You know, we cry, we laugh, there's good moments and bad moments. So I kind of try to incorporate all of that with the stories that I present.
So you produce your plays that you write. Do you also produce the ones that you direct, or are you always one of the playwrights and sometimes you direct? And so, talk to us about like these different hats and how you maneuver.
So initially when I first started writing, I did direct my plays, but you know, I've been in the industry for a long time. I've met a lot of people, a lot of talented, like-minded individuals, directors. So as of, I think, 2 years, I've been kind of allowing other directors to direct my plays, and that has been really refreshing because they have ideas or just character choices that sometimes when you are the person that writes and also directs, it's hard to see. So that's been great to have a fresh perspective of having new directors come in and say, well, why doesn't this character wear this, or why doesn't he give her that? And I'm like, oh, that's not even in my script. That is like a wonderful idea. So as I've been in the industry, I love to collaborate and I love to work with people who just like bring something new.
And so now we're looking at the Crossroad.
The Crossroad. Okay, so this play was part of a festival, Manhattan Repertory Theater. So this.
And how long ago was this?
My goodness.
Yeah, no, because
it was a long time ago.
But it's beautiful that you have archives that we can review.
Yeah, this I think was 2019 or 2018, so it was before, the pandemic. So this play is about Andrea, who is a writer, but she's at a very low point in her life, and she has a huge blowout with her mother. She gets on her motorcycle and happens to find this diner in the middle of nowhere. And it is there that she meets. There's a supernatural element because she meets the ghost of her grandfather, and so her grandfather comes and gives her advice. I was just like you. I was lost. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, but I never gave up. I kept going. It's based on my grandfather, Sigifredo Salas, because when he was younger, per stories that my mom told me, he was a little bohemian. He was in New York, and he worked in ships, and and used to take pictures in Central Park. So he did all sorts of things to just keep himself going. So Lorenzo is the character, is telling Andrea, don't give up, just keep going.
So it's inspired by your grandfather.
Yeah, and he tells her that there'll be a moment that she'll feel at peace, and that will surpass all understanding. And that, is a big moment for her. And she feels it at the end after her conversation with him. So the crossroad is really, sometimes we don't know where to turn, but we can just choose that path, and whatever happens, we should keep going, and we should never give up.
Nice. And so I get that your themes a lot are mother-daughter, right? Well,
Yes.
I don't know. Now we're looking at something else, Justin's Secret.
Okay, this is a play that I directed. I wasn't the playwright. It was Sal Anceloni who wrote it, and this is a reading. So I also love to work with other playwrights and direct their work. Justin's Secret
And that's tarot cards?
Yes. So I also want to say the graphic design of all my flyers is created by Gustavo Ferrari. So this one was about a writer who had a little bit of a substance abuse issue, and he was trying to get his novel published, but then there are all these characters that kind of try to stop him and get in his way. And that was a couple of years too. I want to say probably 2016, 2017, around there.
Okay.
So yeah, that was a really fun play to direct.
Well, that's a nice segue into the new show, Love Slips Through Our Fingers, because it also has to do with substance abuse, right? And it also has a mother-daughter theme,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And this one you wrote,
I did.
but you're not directing.
I'm not directing. So this is one example. I'm like, can you direct this, please?
Nice. So talk to us about Love Slips Through Our Fingers.
Okay, so this play is a very complicated story, and it centers around the main character, Elaine, who has been a drifter all her life. As you mentioned, Rhina, she struggles with alcohol, substance abuse, never has had any kind of stability, constantly moving from one place to another. She has a daughter who she hasn't really seen for 15 years. And while she's moving around, from state to state, Florida, this place, that place, she ends up in New York. And unfortunately, in the place, she has an overdose. She ends up in a rehab clinic, who is owned by her daughter's husband, Charles. So suddenly these two personalities come clashing together, completely unplanned. I play the character Vivian.
Which is the daughter?
The daughter, yeah. And she, has worked very hard to have a happy marriage, successful career with her husband, really doesn't want anything to do with her. But the husband, Charles, who's played by actor Kevin Leonard, and I should say Elaine is played by Susan Gilman, he convinces Vivian to, try to give her mom another chance to, just leave the past behind. So finally they do meet, Vivian agrees, and it's a mess because Elaine is a very stubborn person, and, she's very set in her ways, and I know at some point in time we can all relate to that it's and, and I'm your mother, and, I'm older than you, and I know what's right and you don't. So everything goes horribly, horribly wrong. But then, so in this play, Vivian does decide to forgive her. And so now Elaine has to really think about what to do next. Is she going to stay the same or try to change? But she's very stubborn and she's very sassy. And there's a character also named Ricardo, who is her childhood best friend, who tries to convince her that maybe it's time, for you to change or think of positive ways to improve your life. But, again, it goes in one ear, out the other. But then I don't want to give the whole thing away, but something happens that really has Elaine look into herself and decide what she needs to do. Elaine is a very strong character, but I think maybe one of her flaws is courage. She has thought about it, but she never has the courage to change yet. So that's the part that we'll have to wait and see what happens in the play. And the part of Ricardo is played by Gustavo Ferrari, so I'll include that as well. But
Is it a one-act play?
It's a full-length play.
Is it one act or?
2 acts.
2 acts.
2 acts. So time passes. I think about maybe 3 years pass, and we see Elaine's her ups and downs. And I think she's a character that we can all relate to because no one's perfect, and life isn't perfect. But sometimes something happens that you really have to decide, well, what do I do now? And in Elaine's case, she should have reacted a little quicker, and she doesn't. And because of that reason, there's a lot of consequences that happen to her after her meeting with her daughter, Vivian.
So without getting too personal, how much of this is inspired by real life?
Most of it. So Elaine, so this play used to be called Elaine, and it was a short play, about 15 minutes, 15 pages. And I first wrote it in 2012, and it was produced by another theater company, Fact, Friends Always Creating Theater. And it is based on my relationship with my father, who is similar to Elaine and the struggles that she's going through. And at the time that I wrote it, I hadn't seen him for a very long time. So I was wondering what it would be like, one adult and another adult coming together. I'm not a kid anymore. How is he going to feel? What am I going to say? And of course, I'm like, well, I want to bring things up that happened. And would he admit that he was wrong? All these things that go through your mind. And so I wrote a play about it. Instead, in the play, it's like a mother and daughter. But then throughout the years, the play got longer and longer because the audience wanted to see and know more about Elaine. And they also really liked her humor, her sarcasm, how she just puts people in their place even though she's wrong. Right. So they really over the years, I expanded the play a lot. And Ricardo's a new character because I'm like, well, somebody has to kind of put her in her place sometimes. So, of course, her childhood friend is a perfect person who has seen it all from her. So that kind of has been the history, and here we are now.
Yeah, and here you are sharing it with our audience.
Thank you.
I got it, and I was able to actually visualize the scenario. And it sounds very authentic in the sense that anybody who's looking to have a story to relate to, especially during Mental Health Awareness Month, which is May, and I know you're opening tonight.
Yes.
What do you hope people leave with?
That's a great question. A couple of things, actually. So the first one is to never give up. And it's Mental Health Month, too, which is great. We struggle with a lot of things in our mind. Depression, anxiety. I've been depressed, too. It has happened to me. We've all been there. But I think it all starts with how we think about ourselves.
Right.
That's what I've learned. So if you can somehow work through the negative thoughts, push them away, and think that, what, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep trying. And, today's a bad day, but tomorrow will be better. So I do hope people just see someone who's really struggling. I mean, substance abuse with alcohol, I've grown up with it. It's very hard, especially for the people that you love. So, and everyone has their own obstacles, but if you can somehow keep hope and keep faith that things can get better, maybe not right now, maybe not next week and next month, but if I just do a little bit each day, things can improve. That sense of hope and faith and never giving up. And I do hope that's one of the things that people take away. And then the second thing is forgiveness. when I was a kid, I would be like, but why did my mom do this? Or why would my dad do that? But now as I'm older, I kind of understand. And I just feel like we're all doing our best.
Right.
Nobody's perfect.
Right.
And it's for...
Yeah,
Yeah, please
and
go
we,
ahead.
And we don't know what people are going through.
Yeah, exactly. And we don't know. And we, and kindness, as was mentioned earlier, is so important. And I think you mentioned it too, Rhina. When you're kind to yourself and you love yourself, that automatically, without even thinking, that just extends to everyone. So, and that forgiveness is also part of that. So I think just seeing that, people make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. We're all doing our best, and just getting to a place that even though someone hurts us tremendously, we can forgive them.
Right. Because there's no need to have it on repeat.
Exactly.
Right, because it's of no service to yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that.
Thank you, Rhina.
Oh my goodness. Today is a day of reminding ourselves to be kind to ourselves. Yes. And also forgiveness. I love that you brought the word forgiveness into the conversation, as well as hope. Because without hope, there's no dreams.
Yes, nowhere to go.
We have to keep dreaming. Yeah. All right. Once again, Julia Genoveva, everyone. And also, you can also catch Love Slips Through Our Fingers tonight at 7 p.m. And Saturday at 7 p.m. and Sunday at 4 p.m. And that's all happening at the Royal Theater, which is located at 358 West 44th Street in Manhattan. And for more information on Julia Genoveva or Genoveva Productions, you can go to juliagenoveva.com. All right, stay tuned. There's more open when we return.
We are the Eco Leaders. We learned that everything starts with ourselves. Then we have to educate ourselves. Then we have to build community and use our imagination.
Eco leaders unite from the future to save the past, heal the planet and make it last. We find solutions with knowledge light. Venture forth, Eco leaders unite. Eco leaders.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Open. So today our Open Artist Spotlight shines on a remarkable professional singer who is known for his New York City subway performances. That's right. His journey, has not been an easy one, including homelessness, family estrangement, and being booed off stage at the Apollo Theater. However, his determination and unwavering belief in music has paid off, leading him to performances in China, sold-out shows around the tri-state area, and a winning return to the Apollo Theater's Amateur Night. And here to share more about his journey, we welcome Apollo Amateur Night winner and NYC subway performer, Cruz Angel. Hello and welcome.
Thank you.
That was a summarized version.
Thank you.
Of the journey that you have experienced thus far, which is really remarkable.
Yes.
Yeah. And really, it is a testament to believing in yourself.
Oh, yes. That I could say.
Well, I don't want to get too into detail about the adversity that you've had to overcome, but let's share a little bit about how you, if I'm not mistaken, continued pursuing and chose to go out on your own, and you were living in parks while you were pursuing school and finding your path.
Yes. So, everything started when my parents moved from Puerto Rico to Massachusetts. And then from there, they came here when I was about 1 year old. And from there, we saw that, I didn't know how I was gonna fit in, because coming from a church background, it's very tough.
Right, as far as your
Yes.
lifestyle.
The lifestyle, yes.
Right, right.
Yes,
And you're also, what, number 6 of
Yes,
6?
6.
Yeah.
And we all play instruments, everything by ear. Never been to school, never learned how to sing professionally. It's just what I feel is what I express. And my grandfather had a big role to play in it.
With the instruments.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And I know you play a few instruments, right?
Yes, 6.
You play 6. That's more than a few. I know I saw a clip of you playing piano in the Hartford's Got Talent.
Yes.
All right, so let's talk a little bit. I'm gonna try and move like in a way that everybody grasps like the journey thus far, because I mean you've even done American Idol, right? So all right, so first you did Connecticut's Got Talent.
Connecticut Idol, yeah.
Connecticut Idol.
Yes.
All right, right. Hartford's Got Talent. I confused the two, right? And then you also did Apollo Amateur Night.
Yes.
Right? Or was it Connecticut?
So yeah, so
Go ahead,
Connecticut.
do the order.
Okay, so Connecticut Idol, and then I got into this. It's an app that's called Be Live, and I've met a lot of people. I've done competitions for Tamar, Evelyn Braxton, also for Kiki Wyatt, also for Stevie Mackey. These are like people that are in the industry that I was never expecting to meet. And gracefully to God and all my spiritual up people, they've helped me get through them and win them, like not even expecting it.
And so that came before you got into American Idol, because I know we have some images of you in American Idol, and you pretty much made it all the way to semifinals, right?
Well, it was to Hollywood Week.
To Hollywood Week.
Yes.
Okay, I'm confusing. I know somewhere in there you did, because I was like, oh my gosh, you have done so much already.
Thank you.
All right, so talk to me about American Idol.
Okay, so at the time when I started doing American Idol, I wasn't in the best space, we could say.
Space, what,
As in,
here?
Yes, mine and physically as well.
Okay.
As I was still in the streets, I had been in the street for a while. I didn't know what, I had finished Job Corps because I went to Job Corps. And when I went to Job Corps, everyone that was there was always like, you're always singing. I was sweeping because I was a dorm leader as well. I was sweeping and singing. If I would eat or help someone, singing all the time. They're like, you need to do something with that voice. Don't put it to waste. And so I took the chance. They helped me sign up. And I went to the auditions. And when I went to the audition, at first, I was so nervous. I'm not really a talkative person.
And what's funny is that you speak so like I don't want to say, you know, the trending word, demure. And then when you sing, it's a whole nother program. I can't wait for you guys to see this. So don't go anywhere, right? So, okay, so they helped you sign up for American Idol.
Yes, and I had another audition at the time. I went to La Voz, and I had met my mom, my singing mom, that she was there, you know, because I saw her sitting in her hair, like mine. She was sitting there, and she had all these beautiful colors on her hair. And I told her it reminded me of the Popeye's corn, the one that goes inside the jar with all the colors in them.
What's your singing mom's name?
Her name is Ninfa Molina.
Ninfa Molina.
Yes.
And that's how you met J Spock, my beloved J Spock,
Yes.
Jose Vargas, because he was also
Yes.
in that. And I guess you refer to him as your singing dad.
Yes.
Yeah.
So-
Which is beautiful.
Yeah,
You
and-
have your own family. I
Yeah.
love that, chosen family.
Oh, yes. And I'm very, very blessed to have them because they showed up.
They
You
showed
know,
up,
yeah.
right? So let's talk about Apollo before we run out of time, because this is like such an inspirational story. You went, you got booed off,
Oh, yeah.
all right? And then you came back a year later, right? Because that happened in 2023, and then 2024 you came back stronger. Mm-hmm. And then what happened?
Won the whole thing.
Won the whole thing, and you walked away with a check worth
$20,000.
$20,000, baby. That is what faith looks like.
Amen.
That is
Oh,
what
yes.
faith looks like. Now, yes, no, we have to amplify that because it's about not giving up, and that was also mentioned in our previous segment, right?
Yeah.
It's lovely how we have a through line going on each segment, and I want to make sure that we touch upon everything that you've done thus far before we give our audience a taste of your flavor, right? And so, okay, so you won Apollo. I know you went to China. We can't really dive too deep into that, but it's beautiful. You got to spend a whole month in China, right? And you also got to serve as a judge while you were there, right?
Yes.
On what? The China Idol?
They had it was a competition for China TV. So this day, I was so nervous because, like I said, I'm not really talking in person.
Right.
But once they start talking about music,
The ear opens up. Yeah, no, but it's beautiful. The whole point is that you've already been to the other side of the world, right? And now you just recently won Hartford's Got Talent.
oh yes. Now that was a hard contest.
Really?
Yes, because everybody that was there was so talented. Like, it was insane. I was like, wow. I was like, the world, like, everybody has the same dream, you know? And they, you know, that feeling, everybody has that feeling that they can
Look at
make
you.
it.
That's your wardrobe that you designed yourself,
Yes,
too,
I
right?
made that, yes.
Look at you. Okay, with your cape. Oh, yes. All right. And so congratulations on that. And
Thank
then
you.
I do want to mention to our viewers that one of the things that I admire about you so much is that you still busk. You're
Oh,
out
yes.
there on the subway, in the subway stations. Primarily, I see you on 42nd Street.
Yes.
Right? Oh, look, we're showing. And so you're out there singing for the travelers.
Oh, yes. I have a little party down there all the time. And it makes me happy, you know, see people dance, you know, and I always told myself, what can I do to create a community, to bring people together, because music is like medicine. And I know that as much as we need doctors, policemen, and, you know, everybody that, you know, that's essential for our daily living, music is very important, because music can either bring you to do good or bad things. And I just wanted to spread that positive message to people that the world is not as bad as we think. It's just a matter of how we, you know, project it to the new generation that's coming.
Beautifully said. What a wonderful segue into you guys having to stay right there, because what Cruz is talking about, you're going to get a taste of. So don't go anywhere, because when we return, Cruz Angel is going to perform A Million Dreams, and it's a wonderful culmination of today's episode. We'll be right back.
There's a new channel to explore, and it's bringing the classics back to life. During the day, relive the Bronxnet originals that sparked conversations and built community. At night, dive into the hip-hop throwbacks that defined a generation. One destination, two powerful lineups. Now playing on Optimum Channel 952, Fios 2138, and streaming at bronxnet.tv. BX Legacy, where history meets the moment.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Open. Here now to perform A Million Dreams. Please welcome Cruz Angel.
Close my eyes, I can see they were waiting up for me, that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, that it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we lost our minds. I don't care to call me crazy. We can live to the world that we design. 'Cause every night I lay in bed, the brightest colors fills my head. I'm beating dreams are keeping me awake. I think of all the world could be, the vision of the one I see. I'm beating dreams, that's all it's gonna take. For a million dreams for the world we could make. However big, however small, let me be part of it all. You may be right, you may be wrong. To the world that we see, to the world I close my eyes, to the world that I see. 'Cause every lie I lay in bed, the brightest colors fills my head. I'm beating dreams are keeping me awake. I think of all the world could be, the vision of the one I see. I'm beating dreams, it's all it's gonna take. Oh, I'm beating dreams for the world we're gonna make. For the world we're gonna make. Ooh. Thank you.
I'm in tears. I'm in tears. You have me over here in tears, my dear. Congratulations for finding your way.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for bringing it here to us on Open.
Thank you so much.
Million dreams.
Oh, yes.
Million dreams. And keep the faith. Oh my gosh, Cruz Angel, everyone. Oh, I can't wait to see what life brings you. Once again, also, you can download Million Dreams and other tracks by Cruz Angel on all streaming platforms. And for more on Cruz Angel, you can follow him on IG at The Real Cruz Angel, at The Real Cruz Angel. That is our show today, mi gente. Thanks to all our guests. We are officially 20 years of being on air this month. And once again, we want to thank all our guests for coming through and to our viewers for tuning in. If you missed any part of the show, you can check out this episode throughout the weekend and 24 hours a day at Bronxnet.tv. I'm Rhina Valentin. And from all of us here at Open, may the universe provide paz, prosperity, y amor, and keep dreaming. Keep dreaming. Happy 20th anniversary to Open. Yay. Yay!